Hi everybody! So welcome to 2020 and welcome to my first episode in the new year. I'm sitting underneath this glorious bougainvillea and I'm so excited to show you and teach you and give you 5 tips of how you can grow this bougainvillea for yourself. So today I'll be talking about one of the most favorite things that I like to see in the summer of Johannesburg. These blossom everywhere around you and they just make the city look so amazing. So these are bougainvilleas which come in different inflorescence, bright summer colors, your pinks, your oranges, your purples, different shades of it, your whites, oranges, yellows. I mean, like, you can't get any better than that. And so I love them so much because they're water wise, they grow in the sun, in very arid areas, and you don't really have to worry so much about whether they will be blossoming in the next season or not, because you definitely see it. Because when November hits all the way to the end of January and mid-February, you'll still see these amazing inflorescences in different places in your yard. Hopefully you've got one yourself, or anywhere around you where you're driving to work, etc. etc. They natively come from Brazil, so in South America, Brazil, west of Peru. So imagine how they actually grow in Brazil, because they're flourishing in South Africa. I've never been there and I'd be so blessed to actually go and see how they actually grow in their native areas. So one other interesting thing that I really like, and I find it so amazing about the creation which we see in bougainvilleas, is that they are the flower that we see, the inflorescence, the bright colors that we actually think is the flower is not the flower. That is not the flower. And I'm going to show you right now where you actually see the flower. I'm going to pick this out now quickly. So we would mistaken this for the flower, right? And I mean, look, if no one ever gets to tell you, you would actually mistaken it for the flower, and it's okay, but I'm going to tell you right now what's going on. So this is the inflorescent, and what happens here, we've got bracts. These are called bracts, all right? bracts, bracts, and then the flowers are actually in the center. I'm going to rip apart one bract right now where you can see it properly. So here it is. These are the bracts, and then inside each bract has a flower inside. Alright, so you can see here that there's 2 glossy flowers inside. They're waxy flowers, and then the third one, for the third bract, the flower hasn't come out yet. So these are the 2 flowers, and then one of the other bracts doesn't actually have the flower that has blossomed already. So now you know that bougainvilleas has bracts and flowers in the center. How awesome is that? Really amazing. So I've just shown you the actual flower and the bracts around the flower. And look, these are just a work of art, a true work of art, a Picasso in motion. Everywhere around you, in your garden, as you're going to work, look, just note it and admire the work of art that is before your eyes. So before I continue, just to give you a few of my tips on how to grow your own bougainvillea, I want you to subscribe so that you can learn more and more about gardens and many other things that I have prepared for you. So just subscribe, and then I'm going to tell you how to actually grow your bougainvilleas. Got it? Okay, great. So the first tip on growing your own bougainvilleas, you need to decide where you wanna grow it, what you want to do with it, how you want to use it. So there's many ways in which you can actually use the bougainvillea. So you can either grow it in a pot, like a massive pot, or you can grow it to cover up a wall. You cover up a wall, you like, it's a vine. It will creep up and grow up on that wall and cover it up completely. Or you can grow it to actually use it as a security barrier. Remember, it has thorns on it, so when people try and jump over your wall, it could be used as a security barrier. And you can also use it as a focal point, you know, in many gardens, because it has so many amazing flowers and so many amazing colors, you know, blossoms of colors. Before I say flowers, I should be actually saying bracts, okay? So it has these amazing bracts that are in different summer colors. So you can use it as a focal point. Maybe as you enter your garden, you have this amazing bougainvillea on a wall, on a trellis, or in a pot, or just as a security barrier. So you first need to decide. And then the second tip, or the second thing that I need you to be aware of, you need to note the matured size that it's going to be in, okay? Because if you grow it too close to the wall, then it actually doesn't have enough room to actually grow and expand. So give it a bit of, like, give yourself a meter wide on your bed, your flower bed, so that you can grow it in the center of that flower bed. And you need to also take note of how big you want it to be, how tall you want it to be, so that you don't have it like overpowering what you're trying to achieve, or overpowering the wall behind it, and so that you can actually manage it and see how best can you actually fill out that wall. So decide how matured you want it to be, because you have a 5-meter wall, or you have a 9-meter wall. I don't know if anybody has a 9-meter wall, that's a bit too much, you know, or a 3-meter wall, that's a bit standard, you know. A 3-meter wall, so you want it to be 2.5, and so you give it enough room to grow to that height or that length that you want it to grow in, you know. Or maybe you might need to also grow 2 alongside each other, so that it covers up the wall rapidly, you know. So it's a fast growing bush, and it will definitely fill out the wall. So maybe you might need to put 2 or 3 of them alongside each other. And once you have decided how big you want it to be, another thing that you need to consider is, do you want one that fully grows, or do you want one that is a dwarf bougainvillea? Because there are dwarf varieties. You just go to your local nursery and find a dwarf variety, because you have a small garden, you don't want it to overpower your garden, because it's gonna stay there for a pretty long time. This is actually a tree, you know, so it's a tree, so you don't want to be putting it in the wrong place. So note the matured size, and that will inform where you put it. That's the second one. So the third tip, grow it in the sun, okay? Grow your bougainvillea in the sun. How do you determine that? You need to check with your architect if you're still building your house, or you can just simply go dig up your house plans and check where the north facing or northeast facing direct sunlight is coming from. And if that still doesn't help, just go outside early in the morning and check where direct sun is, you know. Where that place is, that's the most perfect place to plant your bougainvillea. Now the fourth tip, this is a very difficult one, all right? So you need to make sure that you do not overfeed your bougainvillea. So if you overfeed it with whatever nutrients or whatever compost medium that you're using, you might tend to have more leaves than actual flowers. So because you're doing it to have a focal point, or because you're having it so that it can be a burst of color in your garden, you need to make sure that you do not overfeed your bougainvillea. The initial stages of your bougainvillea will determine whether you're going to have more of the leaves or more of the flowers. So the one that I'm sitting under right now has a lot of flowers, and it's because it hasn't been overfed over the years. It wasn't overfed when it was planted initially, and it's not being overfed even while it's growing. All right, so make sure that you don't overfeed your bougainvillea, because you'll have more leaves than actual flowers. And now tip number 5, with every plant, water your plant, okay? And because we're trying to be water wise, and you know, even with this one, it's a water wise plant, that doesn't mean you shouldn't water it, okay? You need to water it. Make sure that you water it at least 3 times a week in the regulated times, in the morning, early morning, or late afternoon just before we hit 6 o'clock, or you know, between 5 and 7. Water it in those times. And those are my 5 tips on how to grow your bougainvillea. I hope this has helped you a lot, and I hope you're amped up and you're ready to actually plant your bougainvillea. This would be the perfect time to actually plant it, because you would actually see blossoms in November time in 2020. And how awesome is that? That you plant it in the same year and you see it blossom in the same year. So if you love bougainvilleas, which I'm sure you will, and I'm sure you do, plant your bougainvillea. Go to your nearest nursery, speak to your nursery staff, whatever nursery staff that are there, and ask for bougainvillea. Even if you pronounce it incorrectly, they will know exactly what you're talking about. Just show them a picture of whatever that you're going to see on my Instagram account, or show them a picture of what you've screenshotted on the YouTube account, and be like, hey, I need this bougainvillea, give it a bougainvillea ko garden yak, and they will be very happy to assist you. And if you have any more questions, please comment down below and I'll be able to assist you. And yeah, man, I hope you loved it. Go and grow your own bougainvillea. Cheerios.